Oxel Carnus is a private detective like no other. With the face of a brute and the broken heart of a child, he navigates the mean streets of the 1980s Manhattan in 4 neo-noir tales that test his courage, his wits, and his ethical core. Fan favorite artist Dale Eaglesham provides a fully rendered pencil art, faithfully reproduced for the first time in this new edition. Also included in this book is additional stories by Brian O'Connell with remastered dialogue by Eisner-nominated writer John Arcudi, plus pinups by some of comics' best artists. And this collects The Creep number 1 through 4, which was published originally in Dark Horse Presents. Oxel Carnus, the lead character in this story, suffers from acromegaly, which is a disorder that happens when the pituitary gland produces too much growth hormone. It causes disfiguring because some bones in the body increase in size, especially the hands, feet, and jaw, and they're disproportionate to the other bones. You would think that being a private detective, you would want to kind of blend in and not stand out from the crowd, but with Oxel's case, it's quite the opposite. He announces his presence every time he walks into a room. Giving a character this condition is a pretty clever twist on the old gumshoe detective story. Personally, I love hard-boiled detective stories, so The Creep is just a breath of fresh air to me, and it's something that I just enjoyed every second of reading. And for me, it works so well, too, because it's really a period piece. For me, the 1980s was not that long ago, but for most folks, that was an eternity ago. So this is almost like a Western for some people. John Arcudi talks a lot in the preface about how he went around and took reference photos for his artists to get the real look of the real New York City, even going to bus stations and taking photos there and capturing the real grime of the city, and it really comes through in the artwork here. The reference photos absolutely paid off. And he also mentions how Dark Horse originally dropped the ball when it came to reproducing the artwork in the first rendition of The Creep back in Dark Horse Presents. They, for some reason, did not use the correct process in reproducing pencil art as opposed to inked line art, and it came out looking less than acceptable to the artist and to Arcudi. But in this collected edition from Image, they remastered it, they re-scanned all the original artwork, they even redid the lettering, so everything came out just perfectly. And they also added 2 additional stories, one of them by artist Brian Kalin O'Connell, and there's an additional story that I believe was not ever published, a little short story that's just nothing short of heartbreaking that they added to this collection as well. Each story is not only well drawn, but every one of these tales has a very cool twist at the end, or either it's just a look inside of the human experience of these people in the world of The Creep. If you enjoy a well-written detective story and are a fan of great black and white line art, then you have to pick up The Creep. It's only $9.99 for this Image trade, and I got mine on mycomicshop.com for even less than $9.99, I'm pretty sure, but it's well worth it for even twice the price as far as I'm concerned. You have to pick this up. There's a very cool photo gallery at the back of the book that has pinups from some of comics' finest artists. And then there's also a prelude, or I should say a forward in the beginning of the book, where John Arcudi talks about the character, how it was developed, the stuff that happened back at Dark Horse, and it just goes into a lot of history of the character. So even if you didn't know anything about the character, which I did not, then you'll be able to just jump right into this story and just enjoy it so much. If you're not familiar with Arcudi's work in comics, I highly recommend that you check out Two Moons, also from Image. That's a 10-issue series that Arcudi worked on about a Native American and who was in the Civil War and is struggling with his heritage and also with being a soldier. So Arcudi continues his great work even today. So this is something I highly recommend too, if you have not already read Two Moons. But man, check out The Creep. Detective story fans and just fans of great art and great storytelling, you should love this. So that's all for this Indie Comics review. Be sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when I'm making another video. And I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.